Welcome back to my channel, my YouTube channel, everybody. Woo! It's time. It's very cold in Florida right now. It's like 69 degrees, which is good. Because this morning it was 52, and I was like, I might as well just wear the coat. You know what I'm saying? So, as you already see the thumbnail, I'm going to be reading the book just for one day. The Freak the Mighty. A classic story. I have it right here, as y'all can say. I checked the audiobook. It was like 3 hours, some minutes, I believe. So I'm going to start reading it right after I'm going to get something to eat, which I have it with me. The McDonald's just got into me for some reason. I don't know why. I don't even know why. So, yo, look at this. I look so cute though. So, I'm gonna give you some reading updates while I'm reading this. But before that, I'm gonna try this frappe. It's limited edition. Dulce de leche frappe. Yo, when I got it, I could smell it from this car. So, I'm gonna try it from here. I have to get my straw. That'd be so sweet. So, I'm gonna try it out like right now. If I can get the straw open, that'd be sweet. It looks pretty. So, I don't know if y'all can see it, but look. It's so pretty. Wow. I'm not kidding. McDonald's, y'all really did that. It tastes like dulce de leche. Oh my god. Oh, wow. Dang, they already did a good job on this one. I don't even think they sold this from Starbucks. But holy crap. Starbucks, don't come for me. This will definitely keep me wide awake while I'm reading this. So, I'm going to take a little break. I got my lunch with me. I got my sandwich and my fries. As you already know. And then I'll put you guys right back when I start reading the book. So, stay tuned for that. Okay, I'm done with my lunch. I still have a little bit more coffee left, which is very good. Excuse me. So I just started reading. I'm in chapter 2 right now. My God, excuse me. So technically, his name is Max, the giant, known as Maxwell, was actually telling the story of how he became friends with Freak, which I believe that's not his real name. So, how they first met. So, they used to meet when they were like little babies, like little toddlers, until all of a sudden Maxwell saw the robot boy. That's how he called him, because he has the braces that are attached to his hip. So it's not like a cast or anything. It's like a metal brace that's attached to the hip in order for him to walk. I believe that's what they call it. They don't say the name exactly. So they said when little Freak showed up one day with these shiny braces strapped into to his crooked legs, metal tubes right up to his hip. And honestly, Maxwell thought it was pretty cool because he's a robot man. And then they never see each other until like around, I think it's either 3rd grade or 8th grade. I don't know because I was so confused a little bit. But then all of a sudden they literally move like right across the street from each other. So technically they're neighbors. So I'm going to give you a little bit more of an update when I finish reading. So stay tuned for that. Give you an update. So it turns out that Freak has a name, the robot boy. His name is Kevin. He lives with his mama. And turns out that Kevin's mom and Maxwell's mom are friends. They live like right across from each other. And it turns out that they got pregnant at the same time. So, and then of course Kevin's mom and Kevin, obviously, they have to move away, and now they move back after a few years later. So that's how Maxwell remembers Kevin when they were like little babies, because they remember that they are in the same daycare together, and then somehow they just depart from each other, and then now they're reunited again. So Maxwell, obviously he's a giant. They're both 7th graders. That's what I found out. They're both 7th graders. Maxwell, he kept saying he has no brain, he has no ideas. So he's really like, his self-esteem is like low, because he talks negative about himself. And he lives with his Grim and Gram, considered as grandma and grandpa, obviously. They don't talk much about Maxwell's father, to the point like they don't even mention the name. That's how bad it is in that situation. Gwen, which is Maxwell's mom, I don't know what happened to her. It doesn't mention anything about what happened. So, and then on top of it, Kevin, the robot boy, he may be small. Okay? But don't let the size fool you. Because his brain, he's so smart. And I'm just remembering, like, he's just a 7th grader. And he was pulling out the vocabularies that he knows it. So I'm trying to find a word, like, for example, I think it's oximeter. I think that's what they call it. If I can find it really quick. Oh, like he said, ornithometer. I believe that's how you pronounce it. It's defined as an experimental device propelled by flapping wings. And this is from Kevin, okay? If you ask that to Maxwell, he will not be able to understand it unless you help him understand. And then come to find out that Maxwell, he has a learning disability. I don't know what it is exactly. It doesn't even mention it. But reading is the last thing he does not want to do. So yeah, so they started talking. And it got to the point Kevin's mom invited him and grandma for dinner. So it's starting to go out pretty well. So I'm going to keep on reading, and I'll give you more of an update later. It's been like an hour later, I stopped at chapter 11. The growth of the friendship with Max, aka Giant, and Kevin, known as the Robot Boy. Whew. Kevin, let me tell you, Kevin's a genius. Let me tell you, Kevin is a genius. He may be tiny, but he have the brain of an Einstein. I swear, I feel like his mindset is very creative and is like learning the words of his own. I feel like instead of talking to a 7th grader, I feel like he's more like a college student, let alone university. But he is so like, oh my God, like I can't even explain it. He is so sweet. He's very, very sweet. But he's feisty too. Do not let the size fool you. Do not let the size fool you. And I'm trying to find, oh, there it is. Like, for example, on the night of 4th of July, they were doing fireworks, right? And then every time they see a firework, they were like so inspired and looking up like, woo, ah. While Kevin, he kept saying like this: magnesium, potassium chloride, aluminum, sulfur, potassium nitrate. And I was just like, what in the world? He's into science? Like, and this is not like a simple science word. This is like a chemistry science. Like you pull out from a science textbook, a chemistry textbook, let alone. And then they were doing a great time until this kid, Tony D, he's really ticking me off because he will not leave them alone. He's 17 years old. He's a juvie. And the reason why he's a juvie because there was an incident that Tony D got a razor and trying to cut someone's throat out, which is super, super crazy to me. And then on top of it, Tony D and his gang would never leave them alone. So they were running the chase after the fireworks. And then, of course, obviously, Kevin cannot run because of the metal braces that he got in his hip and his legs, because he needs some adjustment. So Maxwell decided to carry Kevin in his shoulders, and then Maxwell started running, but then all of a sudden they got stuck in the mud. But those boys never leave them alone. They just started like throwing rocks like out, like as their target, like you know how sad that is? And how cruel can they be? So, all of a sudden, Kevin saw some cops far away from the distance, and then the only thing he can do is when he put his fingers in his mouth, and then he whistled as hard as he can, to the point like Maxwell just like got his ears hurt. And while these boys, aka Tony and the gang, running away like chickens, cowards. And then luckily the police got Kevin and Max. One of the officers was nice enough to see like who they look like. Don't worry, we'll take care of it. Hopefully they'll take care of it sooner. And then the other officer's like, this kid looked very familiar. And then he was talking about Maxwell. And then I found out Maxwell's father's name, Kenny. That's his name. And then to make it more crazy is that Kenny is a killer. So it's just something must have happened between Maxwell's mom and dad before he was even born. We don't even know for sure. So hopefully I'm about to find out soon. And then one fact about, there's so much I want to talk about. there's one more fact about Kevin is that he's into dragons and knights. So he's more like into a fantasy land. Because he's still a kid, so. But this duo, their friendship is like amazing. So I'm going to continue reading. Because it's been more than 5 minutes of recording this. So I'll pull you guys right back when I'm like halfway through the book. So stay tuned. Our boils right now. Iggy, she's definitely on my hate list right now. I can't even like this shit. This is an adult we're talking about. An adult was talking bad to the kids, okay? Talking bad about Maxwell, about his father. He gonna act up just like him. It just pisses me off. Like, I can't even, like. Because they're trying to get, I don't know how all it went down. All I know is that Maxwell and Kevin trying to get the purse, give it back to the owner, obviously. And then Iggy, of course, she's asking questions like, oh, what are your names? You look quite familiar. Where's the money at? It went from bad to worse real quick. Really quick. And then she was calling Kevin names. Like, I can't even say it. The term small. I don't even want to say it because it just boils the crap out of me. And then to make matters worse, Iggy had the audacity to say, oh, your dad is, Kevin's dad is a musician. And then she said, maybe if maybe he really was a musician. Yeah, Loretta said, right after you was born, he must be a musician because as soon as he heard the magic words, birth defect, he disappeared. Who says that to a child? Who says that? I don't know if she got like a personal beef with Kevin's mom. That's one thing. But the fact that she have the audacity to say that pisses me. Oh my god, it's just making me mad. Like my body is like boiling inside of me right now. Like, who says that to a kid? Like, this kid is already suffered enough. Like, let him live his own life. Like, life is too short as it is. And I'm on chapter 11, so I hope I won't hear that name Iggy. Loretta, she's trying to stay out of it. She tried to warn Iggy about it. But dang, Iggy was so mean to her friend. Loretta, you better leave Iggy. You can find a way better friend than Iggy. I'm just... like in chapter 16, which means I'm on page 100. So technically, I have like 60 pages left. Ooh, it got a little bit crazy. So, how do I put this? Like I said, the duo of Kevin and Max. I'm not gonna lie, Kevin is half fierce. He's very fierce. He's a stand-up guy. He won't tolerate any BS or anything like that. He'll say what he had to say. And he always have Max's back, no matter what. And then I found out, Max's father, he's on a parole. So, which is very bad. And I already know that Max's father wanted to see Max, obviously. And of course, Graham and Graham are very scared about that because there was an argument while Max was listening in the house. Grandpa wants to have a gun in the house while Graham does not want him to get the gun in the house. And of course, they don't want her to get worried, but Max insisted to tell Graham to get the weapon in case something bad happens, like if someone steps in the house. And then on top of it, Christmas came. Yes, Christmas came. And of course, they opened their presents, especially Grandma, which she's a child at heart when it comes to Christmas. But Kevin, he is a very creative guy. He loves to do DIY stuff. And Max got a gift from Kevin that is a handmade Kevin's dictionary. Like, literally to the point, like, it was in the back of the page, actually. If I could find, like this one. I don't know if y'all can see it. But I'll take a picture to show y'all what I mean, like the Freaks Dictionary. And I thought that was like very, very sweet of him. Very sweet of Kevin for them to do that. And I already knew on top of my head, I knew Max had a disability. And the first thought of was like, he has dyslexia. And oh my God, I was completely right about that part. So the word dyslexia is a learning disability who has difficulty to read and write. And which I kind of like understand it of where they're coming from. It's not just because they're lazy. Because they always think about like, oh, they're just lazy, they don't want to do the work, blah, blah, blah. That's not the case. A person who have a dyslexia, they have hard time to process and understanding the meaning of the word, and to the point like they need like extra time in order to like click. So it's not like one time and oh, I get it. No, it's going to take multiple times until it clicks in your head. And it's very hard. It's very hard for the person, especially who has dyslexia, have difficult time to read, and especially pronunciation. Especially pronunciation. And then the spelling is difficult for them as well. And I feel like out of all people, Kevin can teach Max. Because he's a brilliant child. He's very bright, very fierce, very smart, like an Albert Einstein, with that small body of his, and yet he got the brain of an Einstein, I swear. And I feel like Kevin is the best person to help Max to read, write, teach, even the spelling, and help him understanding, you know? So I just really love this book so far. So far, I'll give it a 5 out of 5 for this one so far. So, in the meantime, unfortunately, it's 3. So, I don't know if I would be able to listen while driving in the car. I mean, like, luckily, there's an audiobook of it. So, I'm going to listen while I'll drive. And then, hopefully, I'll give you a little update. Hopefully. So, I'll put you guys right back when I'll give you an update. If not, I would definitely give you guys an update when I get in the house. So it could be either or. Because right now, it's 3:09. I don't know if y'all can see. Yeah, there you go. It's 3:09. And yes, that's right. So, I'll put you guys right back when I'll give you an update. So stay tuned. Literally just came home I'm on chapter 19. It got a little bit intense. Kane, Max's father, he's on a parole, and he found Max. So it turns out that Loretta and Iggy are actually friends with Kenny Kane. And whatever he's trying to tell Max, saying that he's innocent, he didn't kill the mama's boy, he didn't kill, like he was in prison for false accusations. I was so mad about that. I don't believe every word that he's saying. I'm talking about Kenny Kane. I don't believe every word that he's saying. And the kid is already like confused already as it is. But yo, Kenny, he's not a good man. I don't know what he did. I don't know how he pursued that. And now he's trying to spend time with his son. Which, first of all, just because you have a son does not have the right to say that you're dad or whatever. He hasn't been in his life for a long time. And on top of it, the cops, they know that the kid is missing. And how they know about this is they call Kevin a cripple. So now I have a bad feeling because he said, give me a weapon. Which I'm completely terrified right now. I'm completely terrified. I don't know what's going to happen. My eyes are starting to get watery all of a sudden. So, Max, I understand this is a whole process for him, but he has to protect his friend Kevin. He has to protect Kevin.
She's so far away, it's like I'm 4 years old again, peeking out from behind the bedroom door, and then running to bang my little fists at him while the light fades from her eyes. I can't get him loose of her, so all I can do is keep screaming. I know you killed her. I saw you do it. You killed her, and I'll never forget, not ever. Finally, he kind of jerks his head, and I could feel him looking at me, and then his hands open. Loretta slips away, and I can hear her breathing like a broken bird in the cellar dark. What? He says, reaching for me. What did you say? I saw you do it, I say. I saw you kill mother. You were about 4 years old, shirt with no sleeves. I tried to stop you, and I couldn't. And you carried me back into my room and put me in bed and told me I was just dreaming. You locked me in that room, and I ran to the window and broke it with my hand and started yelling for someone to come and help Mommy. My father sighs and says, Lord, I wish you hadn't done that, boy. It cost me years. They caught you, Daddy, and they put you away forever. Except then you fooled them and they let you go.
That's messed up.
I have to clean this up, he says, like he's talking to himself alone. I have to clean this up and get out of here. That's when his hands started to tighten hard and fast around my neck.
And this is exactly why Grim and Graham, every time they receive the letter, they just rip it up. And I'm glad they did. Because what that... I can't even say father. I can't even say dad. I can't even say the title. What that monster did not only took the boy's mother away, he has to remember the rest of his life. He had a PTSD for it, and he was only 4 years old. Unbelievable.
Then he shakes his head and goes, I know a real gun when I see it, you little monster. He makes a move, reaching out. Freak scuttles back a little ways, but he can't really run. And even if he could, there's no place to go. This is your partner in crime, Killer Kane says to me. I guess maybe you are a retard after all.
This
Freak is pointing the squirt gun
Oh
right
my
in his
God.
face, and he says, "Guess what I got for Christmas, Mr. Kane?" "Guess right, because your life depends on it." Killer Kane doesn't say anything. He's just reaching out real slow because he knows that Freak can't get away. "This squirt gun," Freak says, "and a chemistry set. That's what I got for Christmas." Killer Kane just looks at the squirt gun. He shakes his head like, "Who are you kidding?" "Sulfuric acid," Freak says, raising up the gun and sighting along the barrel. "Good old reliable H2SO4, an oily, colorless, corrosive liquid used in dyes, paints, explosives, and many chemical experiments." Killer Kane says, "You're lying, kid. You can't fool me." That's when Freak squeezes the trigger and sprays him right in the eyes. Then Killer Kane is screaming in this high, scared voice. His hands are scrubbing in his eyes, and it's like that scream wakes me up, because the next thing I know, I've got Freak in my arms, and I'm running through the dark for the stairs, running as fast as I can on feet I can't even feel. "Go!" Freak is yelling. "He's right behind you. Go!" I can't look back, but I can feel him. Feel the icy cold breath of him on the back
Oh
of
my
my neck.
God, go,
My
go, go,
hands reaching
go.
blind to grab me, and then I'm going up the stairs, just flying. The steps are breaking under my feet, and he's howling. That's when I notice that some of the nurses are crying and looking at me strange. And all of a sudden, I just go nuts. Just go nuts. I'm saying, "No way. No way." And this nurse is trying to throw a hug on me, and I push her away. Then I'm running down the hall, and it's like I'm Kicker again, ready to just blast anybody who dares touch me. I have to keep running. I'm skidding around the corners and bumping into the walls, and no one can touch me, even if they're brave enough to try. I just keep running and running until I get to these glass doors that say medical research. The doors are locked, and it's dark inside. Behind me, people are shouting to call the guards. They punch my hand right through the glass, and I'm inside, skidding over broken glass in the dark. I keep going until I come to this other set of doors. "No admittance," says. "With what, an elephant gun?" That's how Dr. Spivak finds me, covered with her cops. She's this worried face leaning down. Her eyes are red and blurry, and she's saying, "I'm sorry, Maxwell. We did our best. Better let me bandage up that hand. You're bleeding." "He believed you," I say. "You said you could give him a new body, and he believed you." "What are you talking about?" "The special operation," I say. "The bionics unit." Dr. Spivak makes the cops let me up and says she'll be responsible. I tried a little fib on him when he was about 7 years old because I didn't think the child could handle the whole truth. And you know what he did? He looked up his disease in the medical dictionary. That's when I know she's telling the truth. Freak in his dictionary. Kevin knew from a very young age that he wasn't going to have a very long life, she says. He knew it was just a matter of time. So he was lying about getting a robot body? Dr. Spivak is shaking her head.
Oh, no, 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 no. No. Are you for real? I'm sorry. Poor Kevin, poor Kevin, poor Kevin. Oh. I'm crying for real. They were friends for a year now. Oh my God. So there's literally one more chapter left. I don't know if I'm gonna explain it. I don't know if I'm, But yeah, this right there is a 5 out of 5 for me. 5 out of 5. So If you made it throughout this video, thank you for watching. Whew. Still cannot believe it. I will see y'all tomorrow, and just be safe out there, stay strong, stay positive, and be kind to others. So see y'all soon. Bye.